7:30 Friday morning. Welcome along to OTB AM. Adrian, Owen and Colin. Morning, folks.
Hi, lads.
What's happening?
Not much.
Is
Any
this a
crack?
portent of things to come, Owen, that we'll have a third leg on the table every Friday morning?
Are you both
I hope
excited?
so.
Are you excited about this?
It's good to have someone to talk to that's not Adrian Barry on a Friday morning, Colin.
That's
Wow.
good. Well, your dynamic was so good already. I was just adding to it, really.
It's not even a minute old, and I'm getting pelters here. Awful stuff. Well, good morning to both of you anyway, and I'm delighted to see both of you, Owen. We're buzzing for the golf. Have you watched any of the golf, Colin?
I have.
I got the impression from our chat earlier on that...
No, I did watch it. I watched the TV coverage. You were lambasting that, saying that it wasn't great, and then I downloaded the app.
Was I?
Wednesday night.
Is the app any good? Anybody heard anything about the app?
The app. This is a hot take. Anyway, I have it here in my notes. The app might be the greatest app I've ever used.
That's not a hot take. It's as cold as
I
ice.
think I might be the first person who said it this week, but it's
You're the first one.
absolutely.
What's it
It's the Masters app.
Right, okay.
And honestly, people need to download it because I don't know how many people have it, but it's unbelievable. You can watch every shot
Wow.
of the whole tournament. So that's how I'm really watching it, because I have it on the TV, but I'm actually watching it on the app.
Just
while
for
I have it on
clarity,
the
for
TV.
all the people who are about to send messages in, you're taking the mic.
It is handy given the late tee off time yesterday. It does feel that in previous years we've come in on a Friday morning bleary-eyed after round one of the Masters, having seen every stroke. But last night we went to bed and it's a situation. I said that we went to bed as if like I went.
Was
to bed.
Evan Owen retired at about 11 o'clock?
Went to bed thinking, that Rory McIlroy, for example, was in a good position, and modern technology is such that you can watch a mini collapse from Rory McIlroy on the Friday morning. It wasn't a collapse for anybody who hasn't caught up on it. But if you want to go onto your Masters app after you've listened to OTB AM this morning and look at that 14th hole, you will think to yourself, well, that's quite Rory McIlroy in terms of recent history anyway. We'd listened to our experts all week, and the likes of Joe and John both made the point that McIlroy's approach play is going to be the thing that would give McIlroy fans most cause for concern. And there was definitely a couple of hiccups in the front nine, but on 14 he plays a beautiful approach shot which rolls to within, I want to say, 20-25 yards of the pin. 2-putt at worst, you would have thought maybe even a birdie opportunity, and then he ends up 3-putting, goes 1 over for the hole, finishes 1 over for the first round, which isn't a disastrous score whatsoever. But there were glimpses of Rory McIlroy yesterday where you're thinking to yourself, right, could this actually be the time where he kind of comes in with bad form and actually delivers, as opposed to coming in with good form and under delivers? You were thinking this could actually make a little bit of sense, and then he does something like that. Like, who knows what's going to happen today, but disappointment is probably what you're feeling if you saw half of McIlroy last night and then woke up to the Masters app this morning.
He breaks your heart is the thing. I watched that. I went to bed shortly after it, and I thought, and he'd gone 1 under after through 11, and I thought, oh, this guy, just do not engage in the hope or the hype. He would absolutely break your heart. But it's him leading the way, 5 under par. Cameron Smith, I mean, you mentioned our experts there. You didn't mention, obviously, chief expert who called Cameron Smith in his whoop slot last week, Nathan Murphy.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry, Nathan.
Whittled it down to Cameron Smith, I'm pretty sure. 4 under par. Danny Willett, who we haven't heard from, obviously, since he last won this thing very much, along with Neiman Scheffler and Dustin Johnson, all in 3 under par, and then the field after that on 2 under. Rory and Lowry both on 1 over, by the way, so absolutely in touch there. And then Harrington and Power on 2 over par. So I think that's the sort of top line news that people will want. But like the other aspect of the entire thing is Tiger Woods flashing his way around the course in what colour would you call it?
Pink.
Popping pink. Straight
Nathan
up
was
pink.
calling it something else last night.
Who was?
Nathan was calling it something else, a different colour. Answers in the
That's golf
postcard there.
insight.
You
Yeah,
had
real golf insight. But it was just straight up pink, wasn't it?
You had Ewan Murray and Butch Harmon oohing and ahhing over Tiger Woods. It was like rolling the clock back 20 years. And look at the very basic analysis of what's going on at the minute is like that. It does seem as if he's better able to play golf than he is able to walk, by all accounts. Like, just the journey he's been on over the last few years, it's remarkable. Whether he'll be able to continue that for four days, obviously, psychologically and physically, is going to be a huge battle for him, right? Like, I mean, I think even Tiger Woods back in contention, like, let's say he's a couple of shots back heading into Sunday, the psychological aspect of that, I mean, I think that he's been away from that end of the game for so long that it's got, even in itself, got to take a toll on him. But yeah, his ability to walk around the course for 4 days is probably going to be his biggest challenge, bizarrely.
Tiger knew he was playing yesterday, a few days ago. I would say. Given his post-round interview on Sky last night, there was definitely a sense that this was all part of the master plan and that everything had been fine-tuned so that he was going to play yesterday. He was probably just reverse jinxing himself for a long time and maybe just not wanting to tempt fate or get people overly confident by saying that it would be a game day decision. So I think it was always a plan that he was going to play yesterday. I was a little bit concerned when I saw him on the putting green, not going to lie. When he was walking away from that to go to the first tee, he looked like he was moving like Forrest Gump, to be honest. I was like, this guy's in a spot of bother here. This is either going to be a disaster or he's going to pull something amazing out. And then after he saves par on the first hole, walks away from the green, he's moving smoothly then, and all that sort of robotic nature to his gait has completely changed. And maybe that's just the adrenaline, maybe it's just a sense of, okay, the crowd are here for me. I've got to kind of like play through this, that changed things. And he played a brilliant round. I mean, you've got there was a great tweet after deleting the tweeter. Apologies, I think a Rappaport from golf.com potentially tweeted the list of people that Tiger Woods finished ahead of after round one. You've got Matsuyama, you've got Victor Hovland, Morikawa, Rory McIlroy, Max Homa, Adam Scott, Patrick Reed, John Rahm, Jordan Spieth, Brooks Koepka, Xander Schauffele, Bryson DeChambeau, Justin Thomas, the list of people that Tiger finished ahead of yesterday. So it was just it really was, and like I think when you listen to his post round interview in particular, it really was this incredible cap on such a tough 14 months for Tiger Woods. And I think we can sneer away at the glorification of Tiger and how much this week has been about Tiger. But there's a reason why people have been glorifying Tiger this week. Yeah. This is the story. This is an incredible story what we saw yesterday.
Is he making the cut?
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Do you know what? But he's already done enough.
Yeah.
You know, like no matter what happens from here on out, he will make the cut. Like, you know, he's proven to himself now he can get around. Somebody was saying that he might have played the Butch, and I think one of the other commentators were having a bit of an over and back about how many 18-hole rounds he'd actually played, and they could only settle on the fact that it would have been maximum 2 over the last, as you say, 14 months. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yesterday was his third 18-hole golf in a year and a half. That's incredible.
There was it was in the front 9 anyway, maybe about 4 or 5 holes in, where there was just like a sloppy moment from Tiger around the green, and one of the commentators was wondering if that was rustiness, and Butch Harmon was like, no, it's not rustiness. He's got a short game area in his back garden. And I like just little nuggets like that throughout the day. And Tiger again post round, it does kind of paint a picture that this is part of the plan. That yes, it is absolute magic what we saw yesterday, but maybe as this week goes on, we'll become less and less surprised by him being able to be midway through the leaderboard. Like, he's in a tie for 10th at the moment. I think that if he finished there on Sunday, it would be an incredible story. But if you're talking about people who are enjoying themselves this week, Butch Harmon is the man who's enjoying himself more than anything else. Like, every single time the camera pans to Tiger Woods in action, it was like, look at the patrons, just look at the patrons. Like, that is the man who has been a caged animal throughout COVID, who was just like, look at people. Butch, look at all those people.
He was also
together.
paid to repeat every time Tiger came on the screen, which was a lot. And to be fair, look at, you know, the cameras would break, the director would break away from Tiger for 30 seconds, and they'd make a big deal about the fact that we leave him there now, we leave him in peace, and they'd literally be back again a minute later going, oh, it's Tiger Woods again, and you're lapping it up as the audience. But Butch couldn't help himself but say, listen, Tiger wouldn't be here if he didn't think he was going to win it. And then he would struggle for something else to say and repeat the same line again 2 minutes later.
He doesn't move the needle. He is the needle.
The context of Tiger Woods, the like winning, it just, the entire thing is incredible. Like his relationship, particularly like the fact that it's the Masters. It's one of the most romantic. It'll be one of the most romantic stories of the year. Involving Tiger Woods. That's always interesting territory to go to. 5 different swings to win the Masters 5 different times. He estimates say that he broke 20 of the 26 bones in his right leg, which he could have lost. And here he is, like, shooting a really competitive score at one of the biggest sports events of the year.
He's the last man to retain it as well, I think.
Is he really?
Yeah, 2002. But she's like the latest Tiger Woods documentary. The first scene's already confirmed, that opening tee, when he was about to tee off, and his announcement. It's incredible. That was only 14 months ago. Remembered vividly. What we all do. Like, we thought, like, at one stage when the news broke, and the hours afterwards, you know, you kind of fearing the worst. And then a little over a year later, he's playing the Masters. Like, I'm not the biggest Tiger Woods fan, but it could be one of the greatest sporting moments ever, just to see him in the first tee.
Would it be up there with Andy Murray winning a game at what was it?
Winning a match.
Winning a match.
Yeah, you can all win a game, but winning a match. I mean, that was remarkable. That was remarkable. That's the most underrated sporting moment.
For hyperbole, but that could be the greatest sporting moment of all time.
Well, yeah, I mean that's pinned as the tweet, like as the greatest.
On that theme,
you shouldn't move on from that.
Yeah, I'm not moving on at all.
I don't think you should move on from that.
Butch was saying that when we saw the ceremonial starters, and we'll come back to that in a minute, but was saying, there's Jack. Listen, he's the greatest the game has ever known. And like that debate has been ongoing. I did feel that yesterday, is the debate not like Tiger Woods has transcended the sport so much? Is that not what it comes down to? Like people who know nothing too much about golf, people will be talking about Tiger Woods in 200 years' time. They will, because he transcended the game. They just won't about Jack Nicklaus.
Oh, well, what's with the random Jack Nicklaus slander here? Nobody here is thinking up for it. Nobody here is saying that Jack Nicklaus is the great.
Jack Nicklaus. Every Friday. It's the same with you every week.
I'm relating it back to Butch's comments.
What did Butch say? Sorry,
he said that Jack was the greatest.
Oh, sorry.
In my book, Jack was the greatest.
Okay, so
and like, look, he's of a generation to say that, and maybe I'm of a generation to say it's got to be Tiger now.
Yeah. I think that's. I think most people would agree with you.
There was a moment where
an interesting one.
The camera was up close in Tiger, and I was thinking to myself, is there anyone like in the first world, like any country with any access to technology, is there anyone who doesn't recognise this man? Like, is he the most recognisable man?
Yeah, and I think that has people.
Is that too much of a question to ask?
Snobs would say that shouldn't be a factor when it comes to deciding who's the greatest player of all time. But I actually do think that transcending your sport to the degree that he has surely is a factor.
I think it's a bit.
Yeah,
it's like he has inspired kids to pick up a golf stick in a way that, you know.
Yeah, he certainly. Like, I mean, you even look at someone like Joaquin Niemann playing with him yesterday. Like, he's probably in dreamland, despite being extremely rich, extremely talented, one of the highest rated golfers in the world. Like, there is just a magic to it. Although Padraig Harrington wasn't really necessarily having the magic yesterday. Did you see his response to some of the questions?
Well, to be fair,
he
tried out to 2 under. It was great to see Harrington.
It was like the football press conference where the reporter has they're like a dog with a bone, and they want to talk about a certain topic, and the person they're talking to has no interest. Isn't that it? It was like, ask me some more Tiger questions.
Yeah, like there were obviously those couple of moments for Harrington, as you mentioned. Call him the fact that he got to 2 under, the monster putt to keep him 1 under on the 6th was a sensational moment. Even just the brief glimpse of seeing Harrington at the top of the leaderboard for a moment was pretty cool. Obviously, everybody was keeping a close eye on Shane Lowry. Got a lot more TV time yesterday than I think in previous Masters Thursdays iterations. Obviously, he had that effort at the par 3 that almost, did it go into the cup or did it just hit the flag? And then obviously he had his chip in eagle on 13th. So a couple of good moments for them, and then Seamus Power 2 over is the other story from the Irish over. Like, I mean, 16 pars, 2 bogeys, not a bad first effort for your first round at a major, let alone at Augusta.
Lots of comments coming in about the colour of that Tiger was wearing. It was Augusta Azalea. I don't know the Pantone number for it. It's outside of my pay grade, says David on YouTube. Good morning to you, David. And Isolt, good morning to you. Isolt saying that it's cerise pink. So there you go.